Manly's winning the Premiership, and before you say, oh, but they didn't have Nathan Cleary, we all know that the stats say that Penrith are a better team without Nathan Cleary, so Manly's winning the comp. We proved it tonight, and we're basically 4-0. But seriously, I was there, and DCE, he is the greatest Manly player of all time. He's the greatest Queensland player of all time, and what a celebration. I know Brookie and I know Manly aren't exactly the most fancy club, but the spectacle and just the show they put on for him, it made it such a special occasion, and the boys definitely lift. 2 games at Brookie, 2 sellouts, and considering Manly's start to the year, very lucky to be only 3-2, considering one of the games they actually lost was to the bloody Dragons. But a great win. I know people changed their tune because after last week's performance,
oh, Penrith, they just keep on going. They're cycling without Nathan Cleary.
and now that they've lost, people will say that if Nathan Cleary played, Penrith would have won. And my answer to that is, you don't know that, because the 2 points were with Manly tonight. And as good as DCE was, as good as Tommy Turbo was, the rightful man of the match is Nathan Brown. Holy hell, give him a Golden Eagles polo now. He is already one of the great Manly players. If we don't re-sign him, then I will get Seabolt banned from every Maccas on the peninsula. But I have been to nearly every Manly game for, well, pretty much a decade now, and I haven't heard the crowd get up like those kickoff returns for Nathan Brown. Manly has been screaming for a quality front rower since the departure of Adam Fanua-Blake, and while Paseka, I think, has had the best start to his season so far this season, he and O'Shea Ole were pretty much battered in that first 20 minutes, but when Nathan Brown came on and when Toff Sipley came on, they changed the momentum, and that shows how important forwards are. Penrith probably should have been up by more. Manly kept turning them away, and it wasn't until that those two came on that it looked like Manly were the clear better team. Now, should they have been given that try that Cooler scored? I'm not complaining, but I think it's fair to say that might be one of the great knock-ons all time. But they still got the 13-plus win against the 3-time defending premiers, and you can shut up about your Nathan Cleary rhetoric, because a week ago when they beat the Sydney Roosters, you were saying how good they were without him, and no one tipped Manly. And I told everyone to tip Manly because the great and powerful giraffe-goat hybrid was breaking a club record, and no one wanted a bar of it. So you can't sit here and complain and tell me Penrith would have won with Nathan Cleary. And I know you didn't tip Manly because not many people tip Manly, even though I told you to tip Manly because I'm a rugby league genius. So don't sit there and cry and talk about how much I'm being biased because, well, you could have tipped Manly if you didn't think they were good enough without Nathan Cleary, but that's besides the point. Alright, Manly are essentially 4-0 because the Wollongong game doesn't count, and, well, the Parramatta game, Manly were robbed, allegedly. I said we're a top 4 team pre-season, and I think we're showing signs that we're a top 4 team. Now, I don't think at the moment we're putting it quite together on a consistent basis. I wouldn't even say that this was our best performance of the season. I'd probably say it was the performance where we had the most effort. I still probably lean to that game in Vegas as our best performance, although seeing they only beat South Sydney by 12 points, who are looking like the biggest bag of right now, maybe that's not true, but this was still a Penrith Panthers team that everyone has been raving about, and the first 20 minutes all pointed to the sign that Penrith are probably going to run away with this game. But Nathan Brown came on, a guy who was wanted by no one, a train and trial at Manly, and then they let go of Christian Tuipulotu, who is a pretty good burst grade winger, to give him a stable spot, which made no sense to anyone. It makes complete sense now. I've never heard Brookie sound like that when he was charging back off the kickoff. This is a guy who's 5 games into his Manly career and is already one of my favourite players. He does not care. He went after Fisher Harris, he went after Leota, and surprisingly, he got the best of him. A guy who couldn't even get a contract in the preseason just went up against the best front row combo in the entire competition and got the better of him. And what was even better is it inspired Sipley, who had a terrific game, probably his best performance in the 2 games he's played, and he's looked very good. Paseka's second half was a complete redemption story, and the same with the great and powerful O'Shea Ole. And on a day where DCE was the man, he didn't have exactly the best game, but God, he's bloody good, and he's only getting better with age. I'm touching all the wood in the world right now, but I reckon he can play 400 games. What Cameron Smith did was incredible, but DCE is still getting better and better and better. It was such a good performance by the forwards, and that was our weak point going into the season, in my opinion. But this is still a forward pack with Matt Lodge to come back into it, and potentially for Josh Schuster to come back into it. And that's been the best thing about Manly's start to this year, is just how good and how big and how horny and how good our front rowers and our forward pack is going. Jake Trbojevic once again went out there. He dominated Isaiah Yeo, he dominated Fisher Harrison, he dominated Moses Leota. The best forward pack in the competition, Jakey Trbojevic was snapping all three of those blokes one-on-one. Pamole Olakau'atu was the best edge forward on the field, and Corey Waddell made Liam Martin look like a passenger. And there's still so much improvement. Obviously, Jason Saab to come back. I thought Benny Turbo was great in attack, but still looked a bit defensively shaky at centre. But God, he was playing against Taylor May and Brian Toto, so I think any living human being is going to miss a few tackles, but I'm just so happy. And don't get in that comment section. Give me my flowers, because I deserve this. There's probably more people who deserve it, but I feel I deserve it. I don't know why. And I didn't even get to speak about the GOAT Luke Brooks, because that was probably another quiet game for Brooksy in terms of just how well he started the season. But he's just an attacking presence, and that's what's so good. I haven't even spoken about Turbo, and Turbo got to try assist, but again, it was just how good our forwards were. And Nathan Brown, I am absolutely in love with you. Jakey was great. Our entire forward pack was great. Paseka and Josh Alloy, the only complaint is their first stints, but once the game changed, we were absolutely frothing. And that was still Penrith's full-strength forward pack, besides Scott Sorensen. But they had all their middles available, all their best middles, and our middles went toe-to-toe and got the better of them. Nathan Brown, I love you. Sipley, I love you. Jake, I love you. I love you all, boys. And, well, to be fair, you owed us after last week, but then again, it's Wollongong, and Manly and Wollongong works as well as JD being South Sydney Rabbitohs coach. But Manly's winning the comp. Manly fans, clear your plans for September and the first weekend of October. Now, genuinely, do I think that? Probably not. But I do think that if we can just somehow get consistent, we might just be a chance to hang with the top 10, because we've had the draw of death. We have been underdogs in every single game so far this year, except for the one in Wollongong, but it doesn't count because Wollongong is a dump. Shout out to Wollongong people, I'm sure you're all lovely. But by all theories, by the bookies, we should be 1-4 and we're 3-2. So it's been a great start to the year, and like I've said a million times, Nathan Brown is the greatest signing in Manly Sea Eagles history. Am I being hyperbolic? You bet. I was there, and I'm still frothing. If Nathan Brown needs him service, I am here awaiting. The club appoint me. I will do whatever it takes to keep this man happy and at the club. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts were on the game. Am I being so biased? It's not even funny right now. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.